Most investors don't realize how much a deal can change just because they don't fully understand appraisals. I had a client recently that reminded me how big of a difference this can make. He had bought a lot for around $40,000 and was planning to build a property with about a $300,000 budget. In his mind, the finished house was going to be worth around $520,000, so the deal looked great. And on top of that, he told me, I'm actually putting better finishes than most homes around there, so it should be worth even more, which sounds logical. And we tried to guide him through that, but then the appraisal came in, which no lender can control, and everything shifted. The land didn't come in at the value he expected, and the final value, the ARV, also came in lower than what he had in mind. So now the loan structure completely changed. The money he was expecting at closing changed, and his profit got squeezed to the point where the loan or even the terms could be at risk. And this is where a lot of investors get caught off guard, because appraisals are not based on how much you spend. They're based on the market, and more specifically, comparables. So what does that actually mean? It means the appraiser is looking at real properties that have actually sold, not listings, not opinions, real sales. And there are a few key things they focus on. First, time. They're usually looking at properties sold within the last 6 to 12 months, because the market changes and older sales don't reflect today's value. Second, distance, ideally within about a mile to a mile and a half, because even small location differences can impact value. Third, the specs. If your property is a 3-bed, 2-bath, around 2,000 square feet, they're comparing it to something very similar. And then the last one, which a lot of people don't think about, is the market itself, supply and demand. Just because you build something nicer doesn't mean the market is willing to pay for it. Every market has a limit on what buyers are actually paying. So even if you spend more, the value won't always follow. And that was exactly the issue here. He thought, I'm putting more money, higher end finishes everywhere, so it should be worth more. But the market said otherwise, and that's the disconnect. So the lesson is simple. Don't build your numbers based on what you think the property is worth, and build them based on what the market is actually showing you, and closing at. And because when the appraisal comes in, that's when reality hits. And that's what ultimately decides your loan amount, your leverage, and your profit.